This is the North Africa Journal, and thank you for listening to this podcast. Hello, this is Areski Daoud of the North Africa Journal. In this brief audiocast, Deputy Editor Alessandro Bruno discusses the legal case against former Italian Prime Minister Berlusconi. The recording occurred on August 14th, 2013.
Italians flooded into the streets to show their support for Silvio Berlusconi.
Io non mollo!
The former Italian Prime Minister declared his innocence as he addressed supporters in front of his residence in Rome. Berlusconi remains defiant in the face of a Supreme Court upholding his tax fraud conviction and 4-year jail sentence. It's a contrast to his 9-minute television tirade earlier this week in which he appeared to be shaken. Now, for more on this, we're joined by Alessandro Bruno. He is a senior editor for the North Africa Journal. Alessandro, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So is he, this larger-than-life figure, is he going to jail?
Well, he's not going to go to jail. Italy does not usually put people of his age, he's 76 years old, and will be 77 in October, in jail, but he will face definitely house arrest. Now, his sentence is 40 years, but thanks to certain laws that he changed, he will get 1 year only of penalty.
Okay, so crowds outside his house, would that be just a regular sort of occurrence, or would that be a political machine putting that together?
Well, this is definitely a political machine that's coming in force, and the crowd was waving flags of his old party called Forza Italia, which means Go Italy, and it's a refrain that for the Italian national soccer team usually, but which Berlusconi skillfully manipulated to give the political entity that he formed in 1994. But the crowd was actually much smaller than expected. There was only a few thousand people, perhaps the heat of the summer day in Italy, but I think the pro-Berlusconi crowds will start to diminish. This sentence will have an effect on his record and may even have a political effect in the long term.
Now, we're talking about somebody who is a billionaire or perhaps just under a billionaire, tax fraud. Why was he convicted of that?
Well, he has a number of trials, by the way. This is just one. But the significance of this trial is that finally the statute of limitations, which he reduced, one of the reasons he came to power was to modify laws to protect his businesses and his illegalities. And finally, this cycle has been broken. So he was, I think, maybe even surprised by the result. He thought, and his lawyers thought until a couple of weeks ago, that they could get away with it. But this is a trial. This trial was based on tax fraud for his company, the Mediaset Group, but essentially the equivalent of a CTV, let's say, the biggest private TV network in Italy. From 2002-2003, and it's for something like 500 million euros, I don't know the exact number, in tax fraud. But Berlusconi always claimed to be Italy's most prolific taxpayer, even though he regularly did not pay several taxes, as this trial has proven. But more significantly, I think this will really hurt him historically. He always prided himself of never having been convicted. This time he's convicted, and it's starting to show. He looked hurt today.
Okay, so definitely a personal injury for him, but what about broadly speaking for the Italian government?
Broadly speaking, this is, I think, rather tragic for Italy. Unfortunately, Berlusconi is not someone to go down easily. He reminds me of Caligula, the Roman emperor, who once made a horse a senator. And Italy is going to have, I think, could go into a political crisis, a government collapse, if the Democratic Party does the right thing and pulls the plug. Otherwise, there could be new elections in October. and unless the coalition miraculously holds.
Alessandro Bruno from North Africa Journal, thank you very much for joining us.
This was a North Africa Journal podcast. For terms of use and more analysis, please visit our website at north-africa.com. Thank you.